Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new to the channel or you haven't already, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up as you're watching today. Today we're doing a what sold on eBay. Today is Monday, October 2nd. So we'll be looking at the last week of September, which is also the last week of Q3 and the end of summer. Hopefully sales start picking up as we move into Q4. This is the first official week of Q4. So we'll look at that next week, and I'll talk a little bit about if our sales have started to pick up. It's not an overnight thing that happens if you're new to reselling. It's not like we wake up, it's Q4 and our sales are better. It's usually like a gradual progression in October. Sometimes in September even you see a pickup from summer. And then as we get closer to the holidays, you'll definitely see that Q4 rush. I would also like to add that if you are a used clothing seller like us, sometimes the first quarter of the year is better than Q4. There is this phenomenon that technically Q4 for used clothing sellers sometimes happens in Q1. And I think that's a combination of people getting gift cards and money for the holidays as gifts, and then they spend it on themselves in the beginning of the year, plus the tax returns and all of that. But we all should see somewhat of an uptick in the sales, hopefully. This year, I think I want to say the word unprecedented. It's been weird ever since shutdown, ever since the pandemic. Nothing's like the way it normally is. Every year is different now. It used to be you could say, hey, it's summer slowdown. Hey, it's Q4. But I feel like every year is just like different. And the economy is really not doing so hot right now. And the cost of groceries and gas and everything continues to go up. So people are going to have less discretionary income. So I don't know. I can tell you that sales should start picking up in Q4. We hope. But I don't see why they wouldn't. Even when the economy's bad, people aren't always so smart with their money. And people sometimes spend it when they shouldn't or don't have it to spend. But it's different than years past where, they could spend it even if they didn't have it because they could still afford bills and groceries. Does that make sense? I don't want to be a pessimist, guys. I'm just trying to be a realist. Full transparency, our sales are still slow. So, we're all just hoping that Q4 will turn things around. We have seen definitely already an increase on Poshmark and Boxery. I can say that. We have seen definitely an increase in our sales on those two platforms. eBay, it's like you'll have a day where you have good sales and then a day where you have bad. It's kind of still up and down. But let's just look at what sold last week and talk about these items. I only picked out a handful just to talk about things that sell consistently for us. So you guys can keep that in mind. And remember, we have a high volume, low cost business model. If that's not for you, then some of these items aren't for you. But you can still see what sells for us. 2 plushies sold last week. One was this Aurora baby harp seal. I buy most of my plushies these days in wholesale lots. So they're usually like $1 to $1.50 a piece. And this one sold for $8.76 plus $5.99 shipping. I like Aurora. I should add that. Aurora is a pretty good bread and butter brand. Some of their plushies will go for more money. Wild Republic is another one of those solid bread and butter plushie brands. I like a lot of their other. This is a slap bracelet, like a wrist hugger plush. I do like a lot of the larger Wild Republic animals. They have like realistic looking plushies. But this iguana sold for $7.04 plus $5.99 shipping. And those were the 2 plushies we sold on the platform last week. We did sell a tie, which was surprising. We used to do a lot of ties. Again, back to that pre-pandemic, things were different. We used to buy wholesale lots of ties all the time. And we used to go to yard sales and just buy out. If someone had ties, we'd offer to buy them all. We used to buy hundreds of ties a month and list them and sell them, and we did really well with them. But then during the shutdown, nobody needed ties. I think a lot of people still work from home, and I think what folks are wearing to work is more casual. So we still have some ties left, but we're not really sourcing them as much anymore. I did take a best offer of $10 on this tie, and then they paid $4.99 shipping in addition to that. All right, YMI Wanna Bet Butt. Y'all know I love this brand. I love this brand for full length jeans, and I love this brand for booty shorts and denim shorts. YMI Wanna Bet Butt. I always tell people avoid YMI. It's kind of a poop brand unless you find these Wanna Bet Butts. These denim shorts were 99 cents, and they sold for $11.41 plus $6.99 shipping. So back in the day when we used to do free shipping, this would have been like an $18, $19 sale. My brain still thinks that way. Old Navy, tried and true, one of my favorite bread and butter brands. I get them for 99 cents. I wouldn't suggest paying much more than that. If you can get these at the bins and pay by weight, $1.50 on half off day, 99 cents. If you can get them in ThredUp boxes or Goodwill Blue boxes, Old Navy is a really good bread and butter brand. You just don't want to pay a lot for it. They paid $11.37 for these plus $7 shipping. So these were a first class. See, my brain still thinks that way too. I still think in terms of all in what they paid plus shipping as the total cost, because that's what free shipping really is. It's basically taking this shipping and adding it to the cost, and that's the price you sell it at. And then I still think of first class. It's ground, but antiquated my brain is. Next up, Super Scrubs. So this is a bread and butter item. I don't normally source Super Scrubs as a brand, but this was a size 5X, and you can see that we had 3. So there were 3 on the rack, 99 cents a piece. I grabbed all 3. I do make an exception and pick up poop brands all the time if they're plus size. They just do really well. So this sold for $11.74 plus $7 shipping. And then we have a White House Black Market, like button-up blouse, kind of a sweatery purple long sleeve blouse. And White House Black Market used to be like a kind of like a bolo brand or a high-end bread and butter. It's, not so much anymore, but I'll still grab it if I find it for 99 cents. This is something we've had for a little while. So I did let it go for $6.99 plus $6.99 shipping. I wanted to talk to you about these Levi's that sold for $9.99 plus $9.99 shipping. So this is an example of jeans I would always list at $20 free ship. You see how free shipping isn't really free? You just build it into the cost. But we're doing this experiment for Q4 to see what happens if we charge shipping. So these are plus size 20W. I always pick up plus sizes. Again, the bigger sizes do sell faster. You're not going to hold on to them as long. And then these ones I took a best offer of $20 on, and then they also paid $9.99 shipping. So these are the 518 super low. So you can see the difference between Levi Strauss, which sold for $20 all in, and the 518 super lows, which are only a size 6, which sold for $30 all in. So pay attention to your numbers on your Levi's. Also, if you wanted, our jeans guide right now is half off. It's only $12.49. There's a link in the description box. You can get that, and it has all the sell-through rates and average sell prices of over, I think, 150 brands of jeans, women's and men's, used and new. And then it has a whole separate guide for Levi's within it, and then like a price guide that I use. It's called Star's Price Guide because it's what I price my jeans at. And then we have a pair of Joe's jeans. I love Joe's jeans. I used to always start these around $30. Free ship. These sold for $23 plus $7. That's around $30, right? So my brain still thinks that way. I was showing somebody something that had sold the other day, and I kind of told them the price would be sold for plus the shipping, and they said, well, I don't see where that sold for that much. And I'm like, it did though, because it's the total cost. In my head, it's the total cost, right? Because eBay adds it together and takes your final value fees off of that, and then you pay for your shipping from that. And then I also want to show you a remote. You guys know that we do a lot of remotes. I talk about that often in these what sold videos, that we pay like 25 cents a pound for our remotes. So we just get boxes or Gaylords full and we list all of them because we're paying pennies for our remotes. I'll list the $8, $7, $6. We sold a couple last week for $1.99 plus shipping. And then there are some that are better and sell for more. Those are the ones I typically like to show you because most of you are not getting those wholesale deals on your remotes. You're buying them at garage sales and churches. You know, you're getting one-offs and you're probably paying $1, maybe 50 cents. So you want to be more selective. Projector remotes, I've mentioned before, you always want to look for projector remotes. They do really well, any brand. Some go for a lot of money and some are just decent money. This is one that sold for $21 all in, $14.50 plus the $5.49 shipping. Most of our remotes were paying $3 for a label. So I put that cushion in there because, again, eBay does take your final value fees out of your shipping as well. And this was a topic in my Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not in my Facebook group, it's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. You should join us over there. It's a very positive, great environment to connect with other resellers in the community and learn. But there was a post about whether or not you should pass your savings for shipping onto your buyers or not. And my answer to that is no, you should not. The reason we charge a little bit more or don't pass our savings on to the buyers is because, number one, most important, eBay is still taking final value fees off of the shipping. So if you're passing the savings on to the buyer, you're now out money. You're paying to ship because they're taking that final value fee. But also don't forget the cost of your supplies and your time, the handling charges, right? So if it costs you $3 to ship and you charge the buyer $3, you're already paying 30 cents to eBay for your fees, or a little bit more than that even. So just keep that in mind. I mean, you could pass it along if you want. I'm not the boss of you. You're the boss of you, and you can do your business however you want. I just advise not to, because you do have to take into account those final value fees, the cost of your tape, your boxes, your bags, your time. So just keep that in mind. But I did want to show you this remote and remind everybody to always look for projector remotes. And then, your Levi's, obviously, you've got to learn them. You can get our guide if you want. It'll help you learn them, or you can just start keeping track on your own. But you need to learn your numbers because some Levi's are worth a lot more than others. And then, the bread and butter brands. Don't pass up on scrubs. Don't pass up on plus size. Obviously, bread and butter plushies if you like filler and bread and butter items. A lot of people are building up their volume and their overall active listings right now as we go into Q4 to try to build up more volume sales. So these are good items to get if you can get the cost of goods at a good price. I would not go out and pay $5 for an $8 Aurora sealed. I wouldn't go pay $5 for Old Navy jeans. So you keep your cost of goods in mind too, guys, if you wanted to do the volume sales. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything I talked about in this video today, let me know down in the comments. I do answer everybody. And don't forget to join that Facebook group. We have a really great time over there. Go be productive, guys. Go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.